Bowman Reloading here again. Today I'm going to walk you through some of the steps I do when I clean a rifle. I have the 25-06 that we took out here about a month ago roughly for my son's doe that he shot. So first step, make sure that you have it unloaded. Take your bolt out. I went ahead and I took the sling off and the bipod off. I lowered the cheek riser. I'm using a Breakthrough one-piece cleaning rod, carbon fiber. I used to use a Dewey rod. I liked them quite a bit. It was the first good rod that I had, but I ended up bending a 20 caliber rod one day, and from that point I switched over to a carbon fiber instead. I really like it. For the price, I don't know if there's anything better. There's definitely better cleaning rods. I don't own them. Guide shaft, and this is pretty important. It makes sure that you're not going to be kind of messing up your chamber and stuff, getting it all dinged up. But I have a bag here on the front. It's just a rear shooting bag. The reason why, otherwise the rifle tips down too far. If you bring it up just a little bit more, get it closer to level, you'll have an easier time actually running your rod down it and everything. Let me get this changed around, turned around here, and we'll get ready to actually run a couple patches through it. And all we're going to be using today, Vortec Eliminator, and then some Hops No. 9 lubricating oil. I'll follow up later. I'm going to go through and tear the entire rifle apart, but we'll put some gun grease on the actual lugs later. But let me get this turned around. Be right back. Alright, we got you turned around here. All we're going to do is take a patch, and I'm just going to use a 1-inch patch here. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Put it on the end of your jag. That's just a nice wet patch. Okay, we're going to slide that down the barrel. I'll show you what that first patch looks like. Give me just a second here and I'll grab that. Alright, here's that first patch. Pretty dirty as you can see. Not terrible, but we're going to let that sit for a couple minutes here, and then we're going to run a couple more passes through it. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just start running some patches through. We'll have to run some more Vortec Eliminator through it at some point, but we're going to run this through until we're pretty happy with how it's looking. I could be using bigger patches and put more friction on it, but it is not necessary. One thing I'm doing is I'm holding my thumb on my other hand in a spot where I know the end of the stroke is for the barrel length. That way I don't jam it out the other end. I'm in a small house here. It's an old farmhouse, and I really don't have much room up here, so I'm limited with. There's a little dry, a little rough. Let's see what it looked like. Not terrible. I mean, it's coming clean. But again, we only ran one patch of the Eliminator through it. We're going to run quite a few more. We're going to get this barrel to where it's nice and clean before we store it for the year. They say you can store a firearm with the Eliminator in it for short term and everything. I think it says short term. It contains a short-term rust preventative in it. I don't know if I would necessarily store it with that. I think you can. I'm not going to. I like actual gun oil. Alright, that patch is pretty clean, so we're going to soak up another patch with some Eliminator here, if I can get the patch off of my finger and onto the jag. That doesn't take a whole lot. Just get it wet. Should probably wear gloves. And then, yeah, we're going to run that down. All right. Now, again, we're going to wait the directions say 5-10 minutes. Well, 10 to 15 strokes with a nylon brush. I don't know if I'm going to bother using a nylon brush on this. I'll probably just keep pushing patches and jags down it. It gets pretty darn clean. So, but let's see here. Time frame 5 minutes, 3 to 5. So we'll be right back in about 3 to 5 minutes. All right, we're back again. It's been about 3 to 5 minutes, give or take. I'm going to go ahead and run a dry patch through it. We'll see what it looks like here. Not terrible. I mean, a little bit of blue in there. Got down to the copper anyway. So we're going to keep running patches. And we're just going to keep doing this until it gets to the level of how clean we want it. And that's up to each individual person. You could be done after one patch if you want to. If you want to run quite a few of them, run quite a few of them. If you want it pristine, well, that's up to you. How much time do you want to put into it? How much effort? One thing, and maybe it's just me, I don't know. I will, before I actually take this out to go hunting with it again, I'll take it out and I'll probably shoot about 20 rounds through it. Make sure it's hitting good, and then also getting that barrel seasoned again, getting all the grooves filled back in that should be. They don't, from my experience, they don't always tend to shoot the best right after a really good cleaning. Just have to kind of foul it up a little bit. It doesn't take a whole lot. All right, those are coming out pretty clean again, so we're going to go ahead and run another wet patch through it. And again, I use like 4 to 5 drops of this eliminator on a patch. A little bit goes quite a long ways. All right, we're going to be back in 3 to 5 minutes. We're back. It's been about 5 minutes. Go ahead and grab another patch. And again, after this, we're just running dry patches until it comes clean. And then we'll run some more Vortec Eliminator down it for a wet patch. I'll grab this one here and show you what it looks like again. Quite a bit more blue in there. So again, we're getting down to the copper. We're past most of the fouling. We're getting into the copper that's in the grooves. And that stuff there will clean it out pretty well. They do make a copper addition or a copper based solvent that's a little bit better for the copper, but this stuff here, for what it does, how easy it is to use, I love it. It's about the only thing I'll use any longer. Basically just Vortec, and then I follow it up afterwards with a little bit of oil. And it doesn't take much oil. There's a lot of different chemicals you can use on your barrel. I mean, I've used, you name it, copper solvent. I've used sweets. I've used hops. Vortec is the one that I think I'll probably always use from this point forward, unless I find something better, obviously. I mean, that's why I switched to that stuff. Somebody recommended it to me, and I tried it, and I was pretty sold on it. So at this point, I mean, we're pretty darn clean here, you know, but we're going to keep going. There's more copper in there. I want to get as much of that out of there as we can. And then, like I said, in the spring or wherever we're going to take this out again, or if we're just going to go target practice, we're going to run about 20 rounds through it to get it broke in again, and after that it's off to the races. And that's only for like the extreme accuracy aspect of it. If you're going to go shoot a deer at 100 yards, you don't need to do nothing. Just take it out and shoot a deer at 100 yards. Alright, we're getting pretty darn clean here, so I'm going to go ahead and soak another patch. And at this point in the video, I mean, this is just rinse and repeat. If you followed until this point, thank you. I think I have like 100 people following me now or subscribed. Hopefully people get something out of this. I'm going to keep making videos. I wouldn't say anything bad as far as comments or anything. I think everything's been pretty good, constructive criticism. Keep it coming. I'm going to try to make as many positive videos as I can. Some of them aren't going to be very good. You're just going to have to suck it up and bear with me. I'll get better. It's just going to take some time. But we're going to keep running patches through here. We've only ran like 20. We're probably going to run closer to 60 or 80 of them through there till it gets nice and clean. I want this thing spotless, and then, like I said, we'll break it back in when we're going to use it again. Now, to get to this point, though, I have ran probably 150 rounds through it, roughly. Not a ton, but we're done with it for the year. I'm going to go ahead and clean it. I'm not planning on taking it out anytime soon. I have my 7 PRC for that. I think I'm going to save this rifle here for my kids, and who knows, maybe I'll pass it down. We'll see. James loved shooting it. I asked him afterwards. I was like, hey, what was that like? You know, and he's like, yeah, you're right. It didn't kick at all, and it wasn't even loud. Of course, he was shaking a little bit with the adrenaline and everything. I can't wait to get him out and actually go hunt for a buck next year. So, but we're going to let this sit here for about another 4 minutes, and I'll be right back. Change of plans. I lost track of time, and I have to go to bed. I usually get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's like 10 o'clock. So we're just going to let that soak overnight. That Vortec won't hurt nothing. We'll patch it out again in the morning and see what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and post this video, and then maybe in the comments or something, I'll see if I can't post a picture of what the patches look like in the morning or something. We'll see. But either way, thank you guys. Have a good evening.